Looks like it's morphin' time.
This is my house. I built this. This is my house, and this will always be my house. Now let's continue.
Because I love me some me. I love me some me. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
And now, the Morgan Thomas Show.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Morgan Thomas Show here, doing another watch party. This time a little bit different, not basketball, not football, not baseball, but this time we're going to be doing a watch party play-by-play for Clemson softball. You know, I love some softball, so looking forward to it because this is a big-time matchup tonight. This afternoon, really, 7 p.m., getting ready to get started. Windy out there, sun's still out, but going to be a big-time matchup. The third-ranked Duke Blue Devils are going to face off and come down to Clemson to face off against them, number 19 overall Clemson, in a 3-game series. Clemson struggled overall to be able to beat the Blue Devils. John Rittman right now is, I believe, 3-7 overall against the Duke Blue Devils all time. But maybe, just maybe, the tide will turn here for the Clemson Tigers. The Blue Devils having an amazing season, 34-4 overall, 13-2 in the ACC. Split a pair of non-conference contests this week, collecting a 10-1 run rule victory over East Carolina, and then falling surprisingly to the Campbell Camels 3-2 on Wednesday. So just 2 days ago, falling to the Camels. And I think that was a little bit of a recipe there for how Clemson can attack the Blue Devils. They will be a big-time matchup. This is the biggest game of the season for the regular season for the Clemson Tigers. And the game is about to get underway as we have Reagan Spencer, a senior, who is on the mound. If you're watching, it's over on ESPN2, and the game is underway, starting off with a ball from Spencer here. Again, Duke 34-4, Clemson 28-11, and Reagan Spencer has been kind of a surprise player. Right now, a .82 ERA, and hasn't lost a game since 2022 against Florida State. And she gets her first strike of the game, 1-1 right now after 2 pitches. Top of the first here. Clemson in its 5th season, Duke in its 7th season. So the ACC has 2 really, really good young teams out there, as Spencer goes over to the third baseman to figure out what the play call or the pitch count will be. Kelly Torres up to bat, a .388 batting average. She is, and along with the rest of the Duke lineup, is just absolutely destroying the baseball right now. One of the best teams in the country in hitting, one of the best teams in the country in pitching. So when I say it will be a big-time matchup for the Tigers, that is definitely the case as we go 2-2 here after 4 pitches. Duke, again, all-time right now, 7-3 against Clemson. And the windup and the pitch fouled off to the left. Originally, they met in Orlando as part of the UCF Invitational in 2020, and they did meet last season in the ACC Championship semifinals, where the Blue Devils went 2-0. Again, it's difficult to beat the Blue Devils just because of their pitching. This year, they have big bats to follow along with it, as a ground ball easily gathered up by Aaliyah Lungaleo and throws out over to first base. And that would be 1 out for the Tigers there. I'm taking a look here at who that first baseman is. Number 12, Julia Noller, is over at first base right now. Now in Claire Davidson, a .451 batting average, is absolutely crushing the ball, and now leads Duke in home runs for the history for Duke. So big time bat here, left-handed batter. She skies one and pops it up just slightly to shortstop, who is now Maddie Moore. You know, she started off the season and played all last season as a second baseman. She's moved over and allowed Alex Brown. So did a little bit of a shift, transfer Alex Brown from the Tar Heels, who started out at third base, is now at second base. Lungaleo now third base, and Maddie Moore shortstops. Kind of interesting. That's kind of the way they started 3 years ago, with Moore and Lungaleo over at short and third. Amina Vega up, another big hitter, 402 batting average, 9 home runs on the season. But Clemson doing pretty good so far. Let me know what you think in the comments and who you think is going to win tonight. Big game for the Tigers. No Valerie Cagle today. No Valerie Cagle. 2 balls, 1 strike. I know Clemson fans will be concerned about that. She's still in concussion protocol, it seems, and working through that on the medical side as there's a single to right center field gathered up by Mackenzie Clark and thrown in as Vega gets on first base with 2 outs. Next up is Anna Gold. She had 2 grand slams on February 14th. She is Duke's all-time career home run leader at 36. I thought it was Davidson. I got that mixed up. She's actually 5th nationally in slugging percentage. So Anna Gold is the home run leader there. I misspoke. A 3-out pop-up to left field. And the Tigers make quick work of the Duke Blue Devils, only allowing 1 hit on 3 at-bats. So we'll go to commercial break here as the Tigers get ready to come out and see what they can do against the Duke pitcher. We think it's going to be Jayla Wright, who is 11th in the NCAA with 1.6 ERA, 12-1 record, the loss coming from Campbell. "101 strikeouts this season." If this is who we think it'll be as the pitcher, we'll see. Looks like next up, Maddie Moore to lead it off, Alex Brown, and then Mackenzie Clark. Again, no Valerie Cagle. Probably disappointing for her to not be in the lineup tonight, as you know that this weekend they're celebrating the seniors. And so I'm sure she would be much prefer to be out there. All right, we are back from a quick break here. Score is 0-0. Clemson 28-11, 11-4 overall in the ACC. Again, this is their 5th season of competition and has made the postseason appearance in each of their year eligible. And we have Lily Walker up to pitch, a senior, 6 foot from Enola, Oklahoma. I'll get some notes from her from the game report. So she's got a .87 ERA, ranked 6th nationally. Another great pitcher, as we know Duke has. Very common for them, and has allowed only 5 earned runs in 40.1 innings, a 9-1 overall on the season, as there's a hard ground ball from Maddie Moore, who gets up the middle as the second baseman dives for it. And number 28, Maddie Moore, is excited as she gets on to first base to lead it off with a single. Good news for Clemson. That's the kind of stuff when you go back and look at what Duke did and what Campbell did to win the game against Duke. And they had to play small ball. They had to move, steal bases. They had to hit bunts. They had to hit grounders up the middle. And Clemson showing that they are starting off doing that now as Alex Brown gets up. 308 batting average, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs on the season. Brown takes the first pitch looking outside, ball one. Brown is that transfer from UNC. Walker gets the signal. Delivers. Looks like it's a little bit low. Another ball two. Alex Brown was an all ACC second team selection and Southeast All Region third team honor. When she was with the Tar Heels last season, she batted .399 with 63 hits and a .438 on base percentage. This will be great if she could get hit here and move Maddie Moore over. You know, with softball, all it takes is a single, and you can really run the bases. 2-1 now. Pitch right down the middle. Alex Brown looked like she was going to offer for it, but pulls the bat back. Yep, she looks like she was frustrated. She was upset with herself. She felt like it was a good pitch after all. She convinced herself not to swing, and she had a big uh-oh face as that ball was called a strike, as that pitch was called a strike. 2-2, 2-2 now. Ground ball up the middle. This could be a double play to shortstop to second base, and it'll be safe there as Alex Brown gets safe on first, but Maddie Moore with the force out. The fielder's choice, really, at second base. And so they swap. One out now. Alex Brown on first. Two ground balls, basically up the middle. Since joining, Alex Brown has 36 runs with 41 hits and 16 RBIs. That'll be another for her. Mackenzie Clark up to bat now. She gets the first pitch, a ball. She gets her signal from John Rittman over on third base. Ground ball to the second baseman. Another easy out there for Duke Blue Devils. It does advance the runner. Now Clemson has 2 outs. Julia Noller up to bat, the cleanup spot. 322 batting average, 5 home runs, but she's been out majority of the season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do as she gets back into the lineup. She's got a big bat, and she's known to hit home runs when she's up there. Definitely someone who, when paired with Valerie Cagle, could be a huge combination for Clemson as they try to get ready for a deep run into the postseason. Noller, a left-handed batter here. 1-1 is the count. And she pops one, bloops it right over to the shortstop, who dives and makes the catch there. Great play by Baker. Jada Baker's team captain. Started all 38 games this season and showing what she can do with the glove there, diving for the final out. Clemson strands 1 runner. The score is 0-0. We are back here, Clemson versus Duke in the top of the second here in Clemson, South Carolina. Score is 0-0. Head coach Marissa Young's in her 7th season. She holds a 247 and 101 record. Overall, 71% winner. They're one of 5 teams in Division I softball right now ranked in the top 15 nationally in both batting average and ERA. As Giselle Tapia, first baseman, team captain, 5th-year starter, is up to bat. Currently with a .314 batting average and 6 doubles. Falling behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reagan Spencer is still up. Right now, Reagan Spencer has been the best pitcher for Clemson this season. Ball low and outside. 2-2 now. I see my feed's a little bit behind what the stat broadcast is, the stat sheet is, but that's a ground ball to second base. Alex Brown gets the easy out there to Julia Noller for 1 out. Up next, outfielder Amaya Burgess, freshman, left-handed hitter. Takes low, ball 1. From League City, Texas. Swinging strike, another same spot there, low and away, 1-1. Was not expecting Burgess as the designated player. She grounds back to the pitcher quickly. Spencer grabs it, throws her out at first. I was expecting Francesca Freelick, but not in the lineup tonight. Next up, right fielder Sarah Goddard. She's been a key part of Duke's outfield. 3-run home run to help clinch the North Carolina Tar Heel series, batting .302. Reagan Spencer seems to have good control over that low and outside pitch right now. Right down the middle, 1-1. Seems to be a ton of off-speed stuff right now. Not blowing them away with fastballs. As I say that, here comes a fastball inside, and it's held. She checks up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Be interesting to see how this continues as the game goes on. I know it's pretty windy out there right now, and as the sun goes down, it's going to be a little bit cooler. Another ball. Now Spencer is behind 3 balls, 1 strike. Will they give Goddard the opportunity to swing here? Pitch right down the middle, 3-2. Full count. They did not give her the opportunity to swing. And Spencer throws it right down the middle. Have to watch that later on as we go. As Spencer strikes her out, striking out the final batter. 3 outs there for the Tigers, making quick work of the Duke Blue Devils. The number 3 team in the country goes down 1-2-3 again, and we're in the middle of the second. Due up next, Talia Lungaleo, Lindsey Garcia, and Abby Vieira. Clemson's outscored opponents 235-90 this season. and has had over 300 hits through 39 games. But that's one thing that I feel like the Clemson Tigers could improve on. When you go and look at the NCAA stats for softball and you look at the team stats for batting average, Clemson right now not in the top 50 in batting average. Right now they are 72nd overall with a 296 batting average. To me, that's something that they will be looking to improve as the team gets healthier. They need Valerie Cagle back on the field. That will help a ton. And they needed Julia Noller back on the field as well. They got Noller back, but then they swapped with Valerie. So hopefully in the next couple of games, Valerie can come back and they can stay on the field together. Couple them with Maddie Moore and Aaliyah Lungaleo, I think, and Mackenzie Clark. I think that the batting average will start to rise, and they'll start to be a big-time threat at the plate. There's a few different holes here right now to have to fill, but Aaliyah Lungaleo is one of those that could do well. This is her final season as a Clemson Tiger. Got 178 hits this season so far, 3 triples. She gets ready for the first pitch here in the bottom of the second. Strike down the middle of the plate, kind of to the inside there. Both pitchers seem to be doing extremely well right now. They give her strike 2 looking. Lungaleo did not offer at that. Another one that was somewhat inside. Lungaleo has to take a note of that. That's where they're going to be calling strikes. She has to respect that. Ball low, grounded. No, not grounded. Picked up very low at her shoestrings. It's Anna Gold at third base. Yep. Just dives down, gets down on 2 knees, and makes the catch. Good heads-up reaction from the junior there, showing that she's not just good at the bat with the bat, she's good with the glove as well. Next pitch is quickly hit by Lindsay Garcia, right back to Anna Gold again at third base, and she's able to scoop it up, throw over to first for the second out. This is the kind of stuff that Walker is going to want as well. She's keeping her pitch count low right now with 16 pitches. You got to think that this is playing into her hands here. They need to try to see if they can work the count a little bit more than that, a little bit too eager. And we'll see what the next batter, catcher Abby Vieira, can do. Another first pitch grounder to the shortstop as Abby Vieira is thrown out at first, and that is the end of the inning. And again, the Clemson Tigers allow the Duke Blue Devils to get out of it pretty quick. Just one, just 3 up, 3 down again. And just one pitch for the last 2 hitters. As we go into the 3rd inning. The game tomorrow at 1 p.m. is going to serve as Clemson's Senior Day. The Tigers are going to honor 10 student athletes that day, with the manager, Olivia Turnpin, being recognized prior to the game, along with the athletes post-game. The 10 seniors on Clemson's roster this year is Lindsay Garcia, transfer, Julia Bombart, Mackenzie Clark, Grace Hiller, Aaliyah Lungaleo, Reagan Spencer, JoJo Hyatt, Ariel Oda, Valerie Cagle, and Millie Thompson. As a Clemson softball fan, that list of young ladies that are being honored is going to be special. but it is also a little bit bittersweet because that team has basically been the team, considering there's been only 5 seasons. That team of seniors there has molded Clemson into what they are right now nationally, and it'll be up to the next group of freshmen, sophomores, juniors to show what they can do to carry on the legacy. Valerie Cagle shown on the screen here. She did not dress out. Looks like she has her jacket on. Seems to be okay, but not yet medically cleared. As the first pitch comes from Reagan Spencer, she's got 29 pitches so far. And that's one thing looking at her versus Lily Walker. They're working her pitch count a little bit more than the rest. Now, she showed bunt the first pitch, and she gets bunt again, and Clemson just was not ready for it. And it was an amazing bunt. Even if they were ready for it, it looks like it was a perfect bunt there. Aaliyah Lungaleo scoops it up, but it has no play at first. So that'll be a bunt single for Jada Baker. Shortstop team captain. And we got another pitcher or another batter showing bunt here. Looked a little wild there is Deanna Jennings. She's a slap hitter, so that's kind of why her bunt looked a little bit awkward as she was trying to kind of bunt and slap at the same time. She makes her lead here, fouls it away. 1-1. One of 4 hitters on Duke right now, hitting above 350. She leads the team with 10 stolen bases, too, so you really don't want her on base, but there is a runner in front of her, so that might slow her down a little bit if she does. Looks like Duke has a strategy of trying to get a bunt across here. Trying to throw Reagan Spencer off, trying to get her into more pitches. As a ball outside, 2-2. Some mind games coming from Marissa Young. As they let her swing away, and it was low. 3-2. Full count, runner on first. No outs. Top of the third. Ball to the inside. That'll advance both runners. As Abby Vieira, I thought she might have a play at first or second, but they walked the batter over. Now runners on first and second. Jennings is an All-American last season. So while it seemed like it frustrated Reagan Spencer there, she got on base without making too much of damage, but still no outs. As they come with another bunt, and the third baseman, Lungaleo, gets it and gets the out at first base, but does advance both runners to second and third now with 1 out. And this is what Duke's game plan was here in the third inning. And again, Marissa Young, who is a great manager, 710 overall win record, is playing small ball as there's a pop-up to deep center field. Mackenzie Clark throws it, decides to throw to third base instead of throw home as Jada Baker scores and comes across. They won't be able to get the runner from second to third, but they did get the runner from third to home as there is now 2 outs. I think maybe, just maybe, Mackenzie Clark could have made a play at home. She's got a very strong arm, but she chose to play a little bit more conservative and throw over to third base to stop that second base runner. Be interesting to see here what the runner at second base does. As I mentioned, Jennings is right now leads the team with 10 stolen bases, and just the first pitch into it was a ball, but she basically went halfway to third base as Abby Vieira has to walk her back to second base. Number 17, Amina Vega is up. Another big time hitter. As we mentioned earlier, Duke has multiple batters over 350, and Amina Vega, 1-for-1 tonight with a single, has over 400 batting average. This may be one of those types of strategies where they try to pitch away from her, as they have now 3-0, and it might be safe to just allow her to get on to first base and live to fight another day, right? Maybe this is what they do. She's a left-handed hitter. She could easily bring home 2 runs or at least 1. Maybe you give her the outside, and no, they come right at her, right down the plate, and get the strike. 3-1. Allowing Spencer to go right at her here. Another one right down the plate, and it's singled between left center. Mackenzie Clark tries to dive. It's going to be extra bases, looks like, for Amina Vega. And again, interesting strategy there for Clemson, pitching at her, one of the best batters on the team. And she does exactly what you expect her to do: get on base and get an RBI. Duke's strategy going into this third inning has been really good. I like the way they started out, frustrating the pitcher and the infield with the bunts, and then getting into their big hitter, getting their speedster on base, getting their big hitter up to the plate. Now, Anna Gold, who is, again, the all-time home run leader for Duke with 36, as she falls behind 0-2. Spencer's really pitching a good game so far. That ball is low. My opinion, it's really more about the strategy right now of this inning, and can Clemson respond appropriately? Foul ball to the right side to first base. 5 different Blue Devils have combined to register 6 total Grand Slams this year. 2 of those 6 Grand Slams, 2 of them have come from Anna Gold. Now, 2 of those came in one game against North Dakota State. She blasted 2 home runs in one game, the first person ever to do that in a Blue Devil uniform. You'll remember Clemson had a transfer Blue Devil, Caroline Jacobson. As we've got a time going on here, I'm not really sure what we're doing. As Rittman's going into what looks like the locker room. I don't have the audio on the game, so I'll have to unmute. And I'm not really sure what happened with that break there. 1-2 pitch to Gold is a ball. Again, she's hitting the spots pretty well. 2-2, and they are very disciplined at the plate, because that was one that many people would probably swing at. It's another one outside. Has to be a strike, as Reagan Spencer does get the strike. Strike 3, looking for the number 19 for the Tigers. Now, Duke does put 2 runs on the board, do some damage, 3 hits, 2 runs, as the Tigers are now down going into the bottom of the third, 2-0. Coming up next, you've got Kylie Johnson, Ariel Oda, and Maddie Moore, the top of the lineup. Curious to see what Clemson can do here. Again, we know that one of their biggest struggles has been getting on base. And so can they respond? Because Duke is one of the best teams at getting on base, one of the best teams at scoring runs. And so can Clemson do the same? Can they maybe manufacture some runs that they desperately need here without Valerie Cagle in the lineup? I know that's going to be a big hurt for them this game. Maybe she can get back in on the Saturday or Sunday game. I haven't heard one way or another, but we shall see. Again, good to have Julia Noller in the lineup, but would be even better to get them paired together with Valerie Cagle. All right. Now we're back up here at bottom of the third. Again, 2-0 Duke leading. Lily Walker, look at that pitch count. 17 total pitches right now going into the third inning. That's really good for her. Kylie Johnson, one of the true freshmen on the roster for 2024 as they gets the ball outside. Johnson was really good at her high school, Wiregrass Ranch High School, 2022 Conference Player of the Year, 32nd best outfielder by extra inning softball. Right now has a .231 batting average, 4 home runs. Swings at the second pitch. It was a little bit low, 1-1. Third pitch across. Duke catcher felt like it was a strike, held it for an extended amount of time, but umpire calls it a ball, 2-1. Swing and fouled, 2-2. 32 plate appearances. She has 15 hits, 4 home runs, and 9 runs scored. Also with 11 stolen bases. Got more stolen bases than the leader on the Duke team. Is a ball in the dirt to the outside. Full count now. This is the kind of stuff that I think Clemson needs to do. I guess it's not a full count. I thought it was. Thought it was a full count. Yes, it was a full count. She struck out swinging. The TV did not show that third ball, but she struck out swinging, but the ball was in the dirt, so they threw her out at first base on the drop third strike there. Just couldn't get a track of that drop ball there. It was pretty nasty. She was not going to hit that, I didn't think. Ariel Oda up. Bottom of the lineup. She grounds out to second base fairly easy on one hit. Again, on the first pitch. That's the thing. I'm telling you, I'd love to see this Tiger team work the pitch count a little bit more. We've seen now, seems like 3 or 4 batters hit the first pitch and just do a easy ground ball to second base. As Maddie Moore, the top of the lineup, number 28, gets up. She is doing great on defense at second base and third base and shortstop. She's just moved around everywhere. And now her third game, I believe her third game at shortstop. As she takes the second pitch and hits it to center field, flying out for the third out, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers. No one runners on base. And that's the end of the third. Duke up 2-0. Next up for Duke, you have Giselle Tapia. Maya Burgess, the designated player, and Sarah Goddard. This Duke team is pretty stout. They rank in the top 15 in 6 national categories. They're first in ERA, 1.25. That's above Tennessee and above Oklahoma. They are tied for third in shutouts, 16 total, eighth in scoring with 7 runs a game. Their strikeout to walk ratio is 3.91. 12th in the country in batting average, 13th in slugging percentage. So not only do they get on base, but they get multiple bases. They shut other teams down. They have a great ERA. And the Blue Devils doing the same here, not with the big bat, but with small ball in the top of the third. Be interesting to see the strategy they come at Clemson in the top of the fourth here and what John Rittman can do as the television interviews John Rittman. Seems like there's a scary incident that happened, with one of the assistant coaches getting hit by a foul ball. That's probably got the whole dugout shook up right now. As John Rittman also is asked about how the team is doing with Valerie Cagle not in the lineup, he said they're doing the best they can. And, I think that is, as a Clemson fan, equally, heartbreaking as it is frustrating for sure. Clemson just needs all of their best players out on the field, and for whatever reason, this season has just not been the one to put everything out there on the same at the same time. So, Giselle Tapia is up. She's got a 311 batting average. Batting from the left-hand side here, 1-1 is Reagan Spencer now at 51 pitches into the game. Might be a good area for Clemson to get a 1-2-3 again and get back into the rhythm as there's a bouncer, 2-1. With the pitch, pop up to left field area. Ariel Oda gets underneath it and makes the grab for the first out. Routine fly ball there for third base. And next up is Amaya Burgess, the freshman designated player, 0 for 1 tonight. First strike. First pitch is strike there. Second pitch was a little bit outside to the left-handed batter. 1-1. Third pitch, a little bit further outside. 2-1. As Marissa Young is coaching her batter up pretty heavily right now. Fourth pitch is across the plate for a strike on the inside. Looked really good there as Reagan Spencer seems to have good command over her pitches right now. If Clemson can find a way to put some runs on the board, this would be a really good pitcher's duel as we see a quick ground ball back to the pitcher, but it's batted away. She couldn't grab it. Spencer bats it away, and that messes up Maddie Moore at short, and there is no play. As you know, softball has a shorter field, a shorter infield. Any little variation in a ground ball could result in a base hit, and that's what happens here as their freshman gets on base. Next up, Sarah Goddard. Oh for 1 right now tonight, and she had a strikeout last time she was up. With the pitch. Single to the right-hand side. Alex Brown can't get to it as she was covering a little bit to the middle for a double play possibility. She can't get to it, and now there's one out with runners on first and second. That ball was placed right where it needed to be, a ground ball hot to the right fielder, Kylie Johnson. And Duke again making their way around the bases with ground balls. And there's a wild pitch to the outside that allows the runners to advance to second and third. This is not looking good for the Clemson catcher, Abby Vieira. She seemed to have lost concentration there. It didn't look like a ball that was like a ball that was unreachable. But just unable to pick it up, hit the edge of her glove, goes to the backstop, and the runners advances. Now John Rittman is going out to the mound to try to rally the troops here and get them focused. This team is out for blood. Duke could open it up very quickly against the Tigers. I know that Abby Vieira is probably beating herself up, but she has to flush that and move on to the next because she now has 2 runners in scoring position with Jada Baker up, the team captain, as she fouls it off hard to the left to the third base side. Redshirt sophomore Jada Baker were selected as captains from a player vote. As there's a bloop single to right field over the second baseman's head of Alex Brown, and that will score 1 run, maybe 2. No, not 2, as the runner on third checks up, and Baker gets an RBI single, as now runners are on the corners. Again, small ball paying off for Duke as they bloop one over the second baseman who was playing in. Now, Duke is continuing to cycle the bases as they're up 3-0. Next up, Deanna Jennings. And Jennings is going right back to what she did. A lefty slapper came up before in the top of the third inning and just frustrated the Clemson infield with her bunt attempts. She comes up, immediately goes for a slap bunt attempt, and it seems like the infield not ready for it. They are having to scramble to go get it. As we see, there's something going on from the dugout. Looks like possibly there's a challenge for I'm assuming when you're a slap bunter, you usually get challenged on stepping out of the box when you make contact, something like that. Either it's about the base, either it's about the so looks like they were challenging if the runner had left the bag early from first base, and upon review, she is safe. So no issue there. John Rittman thought he saw something. His coaches thought he saw something, but nothing there. As Marissa Young is happy about that and smiling. And they have runners on the corners now. Again, this is the kind of ball that is going to frustrate Clemson's infield as Deanna Jennings is getting ready to bunt again. And Abby Vieira looks like she's going to throw hard to second base, but it's cut off by Reagan Spencer at the pitcher's mound. I don't think they were actually going to do that. I think that was a setup there for the runner to try to catch her. Looks like she threw the ball right to Reagan Spencer's chest. You wouldn't probably do that if you're trying to get over to second base. Spencer strikes out Deanna Jennings. I know that's got to make her feel good and get some confidence back in to her head, as that batter has been a frustration for her today. Frustration for me, at least. Looks like we have catcher Kelly Torres, senior leader, coming up to plate. Ball one to the outside. She is one of those players that hit a grand slam against North Dakota State as well. Everybody loves to hit grand slams against North Dakota State. The second pitch is fouled away to first base off the screen, 1-1. 2 outs now. It'd be great if Reagan Spencer could find a way to get out of this, either with an easy ground ball for an out or a strikeout. Third pitch across is a strike. 1-2. Torres 0-1 so far today. Strike three across the plate? No. Reagan Spencer again painting the bottom corner perfectly. Umpire feels like it's a little bit low and calls a ball. I personally would say that would have been a strike, especially if you have a pitcher that's showing that they have control of that. As her next pitch is across the top of the strike zone, and it gets singled to left field, and a single turns into a double and a scoring double as an RBI for Torres. 5-0 Tigers. Not just one RBI, but 2 RBIs because there was a runner on second because of that steal. So 2-run RBI single to left field. And unfortunately, Reagan Spencer has had a great game pitching. It's just these little dink and dunk plays that have turned into runs. Some gamesmanship and strategy from bunting from the coach, Marissa Young, and some good timely hitting to the areas where the Clemson players are not. Five to nothing Duke. One and two now, runner on second. Reagan Spencer now 74 pitches in. Lefty hitter Claire Davidson. It's a pitch across the plate, fouls it off. Another great hitter for the Duke Blue Devils. Question here is, can Reagan Spencer locate it in the bottom outside of the strike zone and walk away here with no more runs? As she does throw it inside low and gets a grounder to first base, Julia Noller scoops it up and tags the bag. And that retires or ends the inning. Retires the side as Duke walks away 5-0 here in the middle of the fourth. As my stat broadcast sheet shows 4-0, but they must not have that updated because 2 runners scored before. At least I believe that's the case. That's what they have on TVs. 5-0. Yeah, see, they have Jada Baker advancing to third and Sarah Goddard scoring, but actually Jada Baker also scored on that Torres hit. So they've got to fix that. Missing a run there. Run scored Top of the third, top of the fourth. Frustrating the Clemson Tigers right now. All right, now Lily Walker back to pitch here, and the Clemson Tigers up to bat as Alex Brown gets her second chance at bat here. Ball inside. She had a fielder's choice and got on first base, but the advanced runner got out. 306 batting average right now. Again, Walker only with 27 pitches. And that's something that you could tell was happening early on, is that Clemson was getting too eager to hit the very first pitch, and Duke was working the count and fouling balls off and getting bloops as Alex Brown's up here looking to get on base. She allows another ball to go by as a strike. First one was fouled off. Second one was a strike. In her first at bat, she allowed a good pitch to go by and kind of shocked her. You could see it on her face. So maybe she will settle in here and get a hit as she fouls the fourth pitch away. I like this so far. Your leadoff batter is going to be working the count, working the pitcher a little bit more. So Walker gets the signal. Winds up. Throws one at the top of the strike zone for a ground ball to second base. Easy out. She underhands it to first baseman. Alex Brown is retired. Mina Vega, who had a good at bat last inning, shows what she can do with her glove and gets a good out there, tossing over to Giselle Tapia. Next up, Mackenzie Clark. If anyone on the Clemson lineup is going to spark something, it would be Mackenzie Clark. Now, the unfortunate thing is that Clark has no one on base to bring home if she does get a hold of the ball. She is 0 for 1 right now with a ground out to second base. 2 balls, no strikes. Again, there isn't a runner on base, but the past 2 batters have had a better strategy, I believe, and trying to work the count. 5 runs is going to be difficult, but not impossible. It's another ball here. This time to the inside. Looks like it almost brushed Mackenzie Clark, but she's still alive and with a 3-0 count. Be interesting to see if she's allowed to swing away if this pitch is down the middle of the plate. It is, and they give her a strike. Clark was anticipating a ball there. It kind of dropped a little bit, but stayed in the strike zone for the umpire. Leslie, Joey, Pony Express, welcome in. Leslie, Clemson needs to get the bats working. That is true, Leslie. Mackenzie Clark with another pitch, 3-1, and it is a ball. Wow, that was close. Mackenzie Clark's a pretty tall player. That looked like it could have been at the top of the strike zone, but it was a walk. So now Clemson manufactures a runner on base here, getting a walk, drawing a walk, and now Julia Noller up to bat. Clemson's big bat. Can Noller, number 12, get something going? Now, her stat line doesn't look that great right now. It looks pretty average, but she hasn't been playing a ton. But when she does play, she gets has the ability to send the ball over the fence. So she got 5 home runs on the season so far in her limited amount of work. Takes the first pitch strike. Check swing to first base, and the first baseman bobbles it a little bit and then gets it. So Giselle Tapia picks it back up and easily steps on the base. She bobbled it, but it really wasn't too far away from first base, so she got it working there. That is something. It moves over the runner to second base, not necessarily something you want to see from one of your best hitters in the lineup, your biggest power hitters, but Clark now at second base with 2 outs. Aaliyah Lungaleo, another batter that could get a hold of one. She has 6 home runs on the season. Lined out to third base last at bat. She gets behind 0-2. Lungaleo skies one to left field. It's a home run. The Clemson Tigers are finally on the board as Lungaleo hits a 2-run homer, brings home Mackenzie Clark. That's exactly what the Tigers need to spark an inning here. Quickly back in the game, 5-2 now. And as the fans go wild over there in left field. It is a very windy night, and that wind seemed to have helped Lungaleo send the ball to the outfield over the fence. As Lindsey Garcia is up now, 2 outs, no runners on after the bases clearing home run. And it all started, I think, when you look back at just working the count there for Walker, getting her into into a disadvantage there and getting some of your better hitters on base. As Garcia pops one up foul to the third base side. 2 strikes now on her. Bottom of the 4th here. 43 pitches for Walker. Like to see that double in 1 inning if you could. Hot shot up the middle. Garcia is going to get on base. It goes over the pitcher through the glove of the diving Vega for a single as the bats continue to work here for the Tigers in the bottom of the 4th. That could have been a Sports Center top 10 play if Vega had made that catch, and she nearly did. Thankfully for the Clemson faithful here in Clemson, South Carolina, she did not. Now the Tigers continue to get things going with a runner on first. Up next, Abby Vieira, who grounded out to the shortstop last plate appearance. Left-handed batter swings at the first pitch. It's low and outside. Again, like to see Abby kind of work the count here. Looks like Duke has something going in the bullpen. Danny Drugmuller in the bullpen, getting some reps in. She possibly could be the next pitcher for the Blue Devils. If I was Clemson, even though it's 5-2, I'd keep Reagan Spencer in there. She's been locating the ball pretty well. 0-2 now for Abby Vieira. She looks at the next pitch, which trails to the outside. 1-2. as the pitcher, Lily Walker, she resets. She backs off the rubber and resets her pitch count. Pitch across the plate, strike, low. Abby Vieira doesn't think it was a strike. She was frustrated. She gets caught looking. And that is strike 3, but not without some damage done in the bottom of the 4th as the Tigers get a 2-run homer from Aaliyah Lungaleo to left field. And they draw a little bit closer as we go into the top of the 5th, 5-2, Duke. Mitch Mack gets in, says, hello, Morgan. We got Mitch, Leslie, Joey, Pony. Welcome in, everybody. It's the bottom of the 4th, or the end of the 4th, as the Tigers are behind 5-2 to the Blue Devils. And Duke is up next. To lead the Blue Devils off to start the 5th inning is Amina Vega, and she's been a consistent part of the Duke Blue Devil offense during her first season in Durham for the efforts. She was one of 34 student athletes to be named to the preseason All-American team for 2024. She's listed as a top 100 player nationally for Softball America and D1 softball. She is 11 RBIs away from 100. And 24 runs scored away from 100. Last season, she batted .371. This season, she's at .412. 2 for 2 with a single and an RBI double. She's really made the Tigers pay when she's up to bat. 2024 was good. Has been a good season for her, and 2023 was also. 2 balls and no strikes as she is at the plate. And now we've got John Rittman coming back out for another discussion, trying to settle his team back in. They're closer now. They're within range here with only being down by 3 runs. It looks like John Rittman is doing exactly what you want to do when you're in a stressful situation, playing against one of the best teams, if depending on where you're looking at, the best team in the country. He has his infield laughing. Coaches out there, and myself included, need to take note of what he did there. Instead of coming out and being stressful and talking about something super serious, he seemed to get his team reset by making them relax a little bit and laugh. And right as expected, Reagan Spencer, first pitch after that timeout, strike. 2-1 on Vega. Looks like a changeup, kind of went high on her. Ball, 3-1. .79 pitches overall as Spencer just winds up and throws very hard down the plate, gets fouled to left field. Looked like Reagan Spencer wanted that to be a strikeout pitch for her. As she gets another shot, full count. Another hard pitch down the middle of the plate, fouled off to the fence, to the third base side. Vega is in the zone, and Spencer is challenging her. It's a good duel here in the top of the 5th. And Spencer throws a ball low and it doesn't get called. And I think that's where Clemson fans could be frustrated, as when you look at how Abby Vieira was struck out in the previous inning in a low pitch down the middle of the plate. This pitch is low down the middle, and it does not get called. And Abby Vieira, who is behind the plate catching, is obviously frustrated. You see the look on her face. She's just in shock at how that wasn't called a strike. Now, personally, I would say that was a ball. But considering where he called strikes the last inning, it begs to question, where is that strike zone? Runner on first, 1 ball. Now up for a big hitter, Anna Gold. This is one where you're going to have to be careful. You have to be careful with the entire Duke lineup, as good as they can hit. Marissa Young looked like she was, from my coach's perspective, looked like she might have been hinting that she thought that might have been a strike as well. Anna Gold with a low, like a changeup, and singles it to the left-hand side. Maddie Moore can't get to it. Just a dribbler. And this is what Duke is doing to you again. Quick. I wouldn't say a dribbler, to be honest. When you look at it again, it was a hard hit ball. Right in between third and short. Frustrating for the Tigers. No outs. Runners on first and second. As now the bunt is on. And Giselle Tapia, the first baseman, puts down a bunt but fouls it off to the backstop. A hit and run situation or a bunt and run situation. We'll see what Duke can do, as we know Marissa Young likes to play around with small ball here. It'd be a frustrating situation for the Clemson infielders to try to figure out how to avoid an easy run here in the top of the 5th. The third baseman, she naturally needs to stay closer to third because the lead runner is on second. You could possibly get an out there. But if she's going to bunt, then it forces her to make a decision whether she goes down the line or not. As she makes a bunt signal and pulls back to swing, and it basically turns into a bunt itself. What a great play there for Giselle Tapia. She does a swinging grounder to the pitcher, back to the mound, out at first base, but she advances the runner to second and third with 1 out now. Reagan Spencer going into this or continuing through this inning is now at 88 total pitches. And Duke is up with a left-handed batter. Designated player Amaya Burgess up again. Previously, in the 4th inning, she got a single. And in the 2nd inning, she grounded out to first base. 1 hit, 1 run today. She grounds to third base side. Foul. One hit, 1 run. As she grounds to the pitcher, can Reagan Spencer hold the lead runner? Yes, she can. And that worked out great for Clemson. 2 grounders to the pitcher. And Reagan Spencer was able to hold the lead runner, Vega, and get the out at first base. Now the Tigers have 2 outs with Sarah Goddard up to bat. Low, first pitch, ball, bounces off the plate. This is a clutch position for Reagan Spencer. She's been doing great on the mound tonight. Beautiful pitch to the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Sarah Goddard 1 for 2 with a single and a run, scored. 2nd inning, she struck out. and you get back to what you did in the second inning. Reagan Spencer winds and across the middle of the plate, just on top of it, as Sarah Goddard swings and misses. 1-2. As the crowd now getting into it, this could be a way to get out of the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Spencer winds and across the middle of the plate, she looks. Strike 3 as the Tigers get out of the top of the 5th with no runs allowed. 3 outs. And now Clemson up to bat. 5-2. The Tigers are down, looking to rally in the bottom of the 5th. Wow, great pitch there from Reagan Spencer. And I'm going to put that on Twitter. I have to say that on X here. All right. So I posted over on Twitter. Reagan Spencer doing a great job tonight. Exciting to see the Tigers rally here late. If they can, they're keeping it together. Due up for the Tigers, the bottom of the lineup, Kylie Johnson, Ariel Oda. They're both 0 for 1. And then Maddie Moore, the top of the lineup, 1 for 2. Sean Poppy, the new women's basketball coach shown on TV, is he threw out the first pitch tonight. I'm sure pretty exciting for him as he becomes part of the Clemson family and is welcomed with open arms. As a lot of the fans out there have their sweatshirts on. Looks like it's pretty windy. Not only sweatshirts, but crazy hat night for the Clemson Tigers softball team at McWhorter Stadium. Crazy hat night for the team. They posted a team picture with all their crazy hats, and all the fans came out with their crazy hats as well, as Kylie Johnson fouls the first pitch off. Again, so interesting to see the different strategies and how different teams play pitchers. You have Lily Walker, this pitch will be her 50th pitch, and you have Reagan Spencer currently over or at near 100 herself. So half the amount of pitches for Duke. As there's a single to right field. Nope, it gets snagged by Vega. And she is excited. She almost had one last inning, but Vega comes down with it this inning. Amina Vega doing great as that true sophomore from Florida. Wow. Just a great play. She seems to be everywhere on the field. Dove, if you remember last inning, it went off the tip of her glove. This time, no such luck for Clemson as it is an out. First pitch to Ariel Oda is a changeup across the plate for strike 1. And, as equally as sad as I am as a Clemson fan that was an out, that was also a very good play. So as a softball fan in general, I like to see that effort there from the second baseman for Duke, even though it is frustrating. Ariel Oda fouls off the second pitch, 0-2 now. Again, I'd like to see Oda work some more pitches in here. Only got 2 pitches to Johnson. 2 pitches now into Oda. For the third pitch across the plate here is a nope. He doesn't call a strike. I thought it would be, but it's a ball high and outside, just a bit outside. 1-2. That one trails off, and it's 2-2. Like maybe some sort of slider or something. I'm not too familiar with all the pitches yet, but like it kind of trailed off at the end. Catcher was able to snag it pretty easily, but it was in the right-handed batter's box. This one, right across the plate, and Ariel Oda gets the thick part of the bat on it, but right to the first baseman. Grounded out. 2 outs for the Tigers. As Maddie Moore comes up, she had a single and then was forced out by the following batter, Alex Brown, the fielder's choice. And then in the third inning, flied out to center field. First pitch is a ball outside, low and away. Moore, 346, 8 home runs. She has some power. You follow her on Instagram. She gets in the weight room. She values being a big hitter, but she also has a good eye as she holds up on that one. 2-0. Pitches across, and it is check swing, almost a bunt that goes to the third baseman. And Maddie Moore is quick to her feet, agile out of the box, and gets to first base for a single. A surprise base hit from Maddie Moore. She was shocked. She got a hold of it, and it was fair. She thought it would be a foul ball, but then made the big run to first base and stretched out to beat the throw. That was not an easy single there for Maddie Moore. Probably one of the hardest singles of her career there, to be able to have the reaction time to realize, hey, that's not a foul ball. I got to go. Get out of the box quickly. A quick twitch to jump out of the box, and then the stride there at the end, which looks like a bouncing throw from third baseman to first. Now, it could have been an out. They're going to go review it, but she makes an all-star, a major league stretch there to tag first base, and I'm going to say she's safe from my view. She definitely looks safe to me. I think you definitely get, yep. The ball's not in the first baseman's glove in that angle. They're going to review it, though, which is understandable. But she is definitely safe. And I love how you have the first base coach saying safe as well. So she is safe. Maddie Moore with a single. Little check swing single. Things like that can get you, when it comes to softball, can get you a run. You never know. Curious to see if they can get her into scoring position. She has stolen a few bases as Alex Brown is up. And she swings at the first pitch, goes to the gap, to center field, to the wall. Maddie Moore is going to round second, heading to third base. She rounds third, going home, and scores a run. Clemson now has 3 runs, and Alex Brown tries to take third and gets tagged out at third base. Oh, equally exciting and frustrating at the end to end the inning. Bottom of the 5th here, Alex Brown just rockets one to center field all the way to the wall. It bounces underneath, and she tries to take advantage of it and get to third base, diving head first, and they tag her out, and it definitely looks like an out to me. They're not even going to review it. That's the end of the inning. Bottom of the 5th here. Clemson down 5-3. Wow. That's one of those ones where now hindsight's 2020. You probably want that one back now. Looking at it, you're pretty frustrated. I'm sure Alex Brown is in the dugout frustrated, but she has to shake it off and get back out on the field at second base. But I know that has to be frustrating if you're If you're John Rittman, you're probably thinking, got to be aggressive. Unfortunately, that aggressiveness did not work out. I think you got to take it. I mean, it's getting late. There's only 7 innings in a softball game. You don't have many chances left. I think you got to take your opportunities there. Alex Brown rocketed one. Big hit to center field. Unfortunately, just not there for her. She ends up getting the run, but also ending the inning, taking third base. I really can't blame her for that. I can't blame Clemson for being aggressive there. You don't ever want to get the out at third or the last out at third, but heading into the top of the 6th inning, Duke up 5-3 as Clemson is slowly eating away at that lead, and Duke has 8 total hits and Clemson has 5. Those 8 hits have really come from bunts and bloop singles and just things where hitting the ball where Clemson players are not. Clemson's runs have come from 2 big hits, one all the way to the field, to the fence, as we talked about last inning, and then one a couple innings ago from Aaliyah Lungaleo for a 2-run home run. As Reagan Spencer back out on the mound, first 2 pitches, ball and a strike, 1-1. She's at what I thought, right at 98 total pitches, about double the amount of pitches as a Duke player. As Jada Baker gets into bat, she's 2 for 2, one of Duke's big hitters. First inning singled, second inning singled, and got an RBI. As the pitch goes, ground ball to Maddie Moore at short. She scoops it up and throws past Julia Noller to the dugout almost and bounces it off the fence of the dugout. Terrible throw from the shortstop there as it trailed to the left and high. It's way over the first baseman's head. Thankfully, Abby Vieira, the catcher, was there to back up the bad throw. And that has to be an error on the shortstop, as Maddie Moore, she's pretty frustrated about that. She's got to, again, flush that bad throw and try to reset, because she could potentially be in position to get a double play here as Deanna Jennings, that frustrating leadoff batter, gets up there. Or no, she's the last batter. She grounds to Lungaleo, who has the force out at second because Alex Brown is covering. And now we're at the leadoff batter, but that was a good play for Clemson as they get the lead runner at second base as Maddie Moore moved over to back up Lungaleo. Very sound defensive play there as Alex Brown covers second base and looks over to first, but doesn't have an opportunity here. Quick single, first pitch single between short and third as Kelly Torres gets a quick single there. And now runners on first and second with 1 out. And one of Duke's best hitters, and Claire Davidson, comes up, batting .442. 0 for 2 so far. One ball, 1 strike now. Can Clemson settle in after an error and a hot hit to the left side? Can they settle in and get 2 outs to end this inning? Low and outside, ball 2. If you're watching, let me know in the chat where you're from and tell me go Tigers if you're a Tiger fan. Spencer throws one across the plate, fouled deep to left field. 2-2 now. Can Spencer find an out pitch? wind. Low and away. Same spot that she's been throwing at for Davidson. Over the plate, low, fouled away again as they continue to battle here. 109 pitches for Reagan Spencer. Another foul ball to the left side. Seems like the batter is late on it, but still getting a bat, still getting a piece of it. Can Spencer find a way to get out of this inning? Oh, Davidson hit by the pitch on the next pitch, right on the tip of the elbow there. She had that protector, so not going to be a big deal for her medically because she's got that elbow guard. But right on the elbow, kind of rose up to the inside, and that is not what you want if you're Clemson. Now the bases are loaded with one out for the star on the Duke side of the game, and that is Amina Vega. She's been on base every time she's got up there, and now John Rittman is coming to the mound to calm them down again, get them focused. I think this is an important time to focus the team. They could get a force out at home. They could get into an easy double play. Depends on what happens here. But I think if you're Vega, you're swinging for the fences with one out and one ball. In the first inning, she had a single. In the third inning, she had a double with an RBI. And then in the fifth inning, she got all the way to third base after a base on ball. So she has been all over the base pass for Clemson, except for scoring a run. And she gets a hold of that one, but fouled to left field. Seems that's what's going on right now. The past two batters keep fouling them to the left field side of the stadium. Ooh, high and outside. That looked like it could have been a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Vega batting 412 right now. Ball low, 3-1. You probably don't want to walk a run home, but now you have that as a risk. Over the plate, fouled again to the left-hand side. You've got the batters are late, but if they get a hold of it, it could be in a multiple runs if Vega gets a hold of it. If it's a ball, you're walking home a run. That one was hit big, well out of the park. Could have been a home run if it was fair, but it's foul again to the left-hand side of the field. She seems to be still working on her timing of Reagan Spencer. Spencer would be good to get an out pitch here. She throws it to the inside, fouls it now to the first base side as the ball goes all the way almost to the back of the back corner of the field over there with Clemson's dugout. Bases loaded, 1 out. This will be Spencer's 119th pitch. And she does a changeup that gets popped up center field, going back to the fence all the way to the wall. And Mackenzie Clark jumps for it and misses it. She got a piece of it. She got a piece of it and she jumped and missed. And it is a home run for Amina Vega, the star of the game. As I said, when she got up to the plate, does not disappoint for the Blue Devils, plating 4 runs. Now the lead is extended 9-3 Duke. After a major battle, 8-pitch battle, Mackenzie Clark jumps as high as she possibly can, gets a piece of it on her glove, almost snow cones it, but it goes off her glove for a home run. Clark takes a second to regain her composure here. What a disappointing turn of events there for the Tigers, as Reagan Spencer, who's had a decent game pitching the ball, but Duke is just extremely good team at hitting. This could be, and is showing now, that they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. 10 total hits, 9 runs on the night. In the top of the 6th here with 1 out. You got Anna Gold up to bat. Again, the Duke all-time leader in home runs. 3-0 now. Ball inside and low, and she gets walked on 4 pitches. Just a critical moment there for Clemson pitching staff and Reagan Spencer. And I think the most unfortunate thing was just hitting Claire Davidson in the elbow. She had her with 2 strikes, and just threw it a little bit too far inside and loaded the bases, and allowed the star of the game, Amina Vega, the second baseman for Duke, to unload a home run to center field after also battling. You get to a point where you have 3 fouls in a row, 4 fouls total in an at-bat, and you're running out of pitches to throw because she keeps fouling them off. And what they went with was an off-speed ball that ended up being higher than they probably wanted, and it was hit to center field. As now Reagan Spencer checks out of the game after walking Anna Gold on 4 straight pitches, and Brooke McCubbin is going to come in as the relief pitcher for the Tigers. Again, they don't have Valerie Cagle in their lineup tonight. And as John Rittman said earlier in the game, they're doing the best they can. They're doing the best they can. Anthony, welcome in, Anthony. Thank you for being a part of the show. Anthony said, that's game. I think so. I think so, Anthony. Never say never when it comes to any game. But Duke now up 9-3, top of the 6th, runner on first, 1 out for Giselle Tapia. Giselle 0 for 3 tonight. That's pretty surprising. She's a 306 batting average. She grounded out to first in the second. No, wait, that's it's looking ahead here. So she flies out to center field, and Mackenzie Clark gets underneath that one easy and tosses it over to Alex Brown for the second out. And that's the kind of hit you would have liked to seen from Amina Vega, but no such luck for the Tigers as they have to try to climb out of a 6-run hole now. Maya Burgess, the designated player, 1 for 3 with a single and 2 groundouts to first. Left-handed batter. Brooke McCubbin, 5'10" overall, got a pretty long windup, it seems. Ball 1 to the outside, 1-2. Foul ball to the first base side, 1-2. Best case scenario for Clemson here would be to get an easy out and go in and try to rebound with Mackenzie Clark at bat. Grounder to first base, Julia Noller scoops it up, tags first, and that is the end of the inning. But not without a ton of runs from the star of the night. Amina Vega gets a grand slam off the tip of the glove of Mackenzie Clark, as now Duke's winning 9-3 as we head into the bottom of the 6th. All right, we got up Mackenzie Clark, Julia Noller, Aaliyah Lungaleo. That's a good lineup for Clemson to try to respond here, but not a good lineup to get runners on base and respond that way. I think they would have to come out quickly here, depending on who's pitching. But I think Walker still has a lot of left in her because she hasn't had a ton of pitches compared to Clemson, Reagan Spencer. I think you try to go for the big hits with Clark, Noller, and Lungaleo. At least try to make up 3 runs this inning and 3 runs next inning. Maybe, just maybe, you could tie it in the bottom of the 7th. Five hits tonight, 2 from Maddie Moore, 1 from Alex Brown, 1 from Aaliyah Lungaleo, and 1 from Lindsey Garcia. 10 hits for Duke, 2 from Kelly Torres, 3 from Amina Vega, 1 from Anna Gold, 1 from Amaya Burgess, 1 from Sarah Goddard, and 2 from Jada Baker. As Lily Walker's back on the mound, getting ready to pitch to Mackenzie Clark, her 60th pitch of the night. As Clark hits the first pitch and lines it down the left field line, she's looking for 2. As she's got wheels, and she easily gets to second, and she's going to even go for third as there's a bad pitch or a bad return throw in, and it bounces off the shortstop or the second baseman's glove. Clark kind of gets impeded as she goes to third. Very weird advance between second and third. Duke's going to call foul there, but it looks like she was impeded as she goes to third base, but she still gets there safely. That's a leadoff triple for Clark, who aggressively runs the bases. You see the replay here. She slides into second, and then Vega, the second baseman, is in her way trying to pick up the loose ball that gets bobbled, and Mackenzie Clark playing with some frustration. I'm sure some frustration for that player she ran into, which was Vega, who hit the home run. Clark obviously mad, playing angry right now. Very frustrated. But maybe that's what you need as Julia Noller comes up. She's 0 for 2 on the night with a ground out and a pop-up. Off-speed pitch, low and inside. That was a strike, but as we know, to me, that's a Reagan Spencer strike that they didn't call. And Clemson's dugouts letting him know about it. As he doesn't call the second one, which seemed to be in the same spot. Doesn't call that one a strike. I don't know how I feel about this right now. 1-1 on Noller. Low and inside. She fouls it off back to the backstop. 1-2. Noller doing her stretch. She's probably looking to find a way to bring home Mackenzie Clark and get closer to that 9-run of Duke. The pitch. Down the middle, off speed. Julia Noller wasn't ready for that and is a strike. Swinging. Was not expecting something off speed. Got out ahead of it. She had already made her full swing before that ball even crossed home plate. That's what good pitchers do, though. They leave you guessing, and that's what Julia Noller was. Guessing. Up next, Aaliyah Lungaleo. First pitch swinging up the middle. She's going to bring home Mackenzie Clark for a run, and Lungaleo has been a huge spark for the team now, bringing in another run, this time in the form of an RBI single. The Tigers now have a runner on first, 1 out, and a little bit closer, 9-4. Good hit. Sometimes you got to take the first pitch that you're given. Lily Walker left it over the plate, and Lungaleo made her pay. Now is on first base. Up next for Lindsey Garcia, transfer from Auburn. She already has a single tonight. Let's see if she can get another one. First pitch is looking strike. .231 batting average. You'd like for someone who's a senior to have a little bit higher than that here, but a valuable contributor to the team. She has a good eye on the second pitch, 1-1. Third pitch is in the dirt, bounces. Kelly Torres gathers it and keeps Lungaleo at first, as the TV feed still says that there's somebody on third, but there is not. There's a runner on first. Next pitch is off speed, but it looks like it's a little bit high at the numbers, at the letters here for Garcia. 2-1. 3-1, rather. 3-1. Pitch. Oh, Garcia thought it was a ball, like it was inside. The fans aren't happy about that one. Umpire gives her a strike. If it was inside, I don't know. It was pretty close. It was the same height as the last pitch that was over the plate. Again, very interesting where this umpire is locating these strikes. Pitch over the plate, hot. And it's safe. The runner gets safe, and the first baseman can't get it as the third baseman gathers it up on a Gold. It looked like it was foul at first. The umpire calls it fair. Gold scoops it up. She's on her knees. She has to get up off her knees and throw it over to first. Doesn't make a good throw to first base. She gets over to first. It does a bounce, and the bounce causes the first baseman to lean into the runner. I don't think Garcia interfered with that catch because the first baseman leaned into the base path there. However, that's advantageous for Clemson as they have a runner on first, Lindsey Garcia, and then you have Lungaleo on third. And looks like John Rittman is going to call in a pinch runner, Kennedy Ariel. Now, number one, Kennedy Ariel is going to be the pinch runner. I'm assuming in this case, they're going to try to get her to second and get them into scoring position here with one out. JoJo Hyatt in a pinch hitter here for who are we pinch hitting for? Abby Vieira? Pinch hitting for Abby Vieira. Catcher for catcher. Doesn't have the best batting average, an 071. Not really sure where you're going with this, but possibly a change in for a right-handed hitter versus a left-handed hitter. JoJo Hyatt's going to be one of these girls that are one of the ladies that are seniors. So possibly he's tapping into some extra motivation in this player to show out tonight, this weekend, because of the nature of the weekend. Lungaleo from third base is cheering her on to stay calm. Number 23. One of the first Group 0 Clemson players as she takes the first pitch strike. We've seen two pitches here now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Haven't had the runner steal yet. Pitch was inside, looking. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good hold there for JoJo Hyatt. High pressure situation. She checks into a run, into a bunt, and lays a perfect bunt down the first base line. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better bunt that brings home Aaliyah Lungaleo for another run. 9-5 Clemson as the crowd goes wild. What a great bunt. Completely caught the defense by surprise, and myself was not expecting that. She gets into a bunt. First baseman scoops it up. Giselle Tapia over to Amina Vega. Does get the out at first, but brings home a run. Just inching a little bit closer, kind of giving Duke a dose of their own medicine from earlier in the game. As next up is Kylie Johnson, who has batting .224. With 4 home runs, 3 doubles. She can get a hold of one if she has the opportunity. Struck out and grounded out so far in the game. Right-handed batter, 1 ball, no strikes. And low and outside, call for a strike. I don't know how I feel about that one. Pitch is outside, singled to right field. The right fielder has to dive to go get it. Could this bring another run home? And the pinch runner does come home. Kennedy Ariel brings it around from second base all the way. Great hit, perfect spot. Clemson now scores another run, 9-6. As Clemson still fighting in the bottom of the 6th, not willing to give up. As I said, they needed to get 3 this inning and possibly 3 in the second inning and in the 7th inning. And here they have 3 to bring it to 9-6 with Ariel Oda up to bat. In her 2 past plate appearances, she grounded out to second base and grounded out to third or to first. She grounds to the pitcher now, makes an easy out to first base to retire and end the inning. But not without some damage done from the Clemson Tigers. 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. And now Duke leads only 3, 9-6, going in the top of the 7th. You have to like what you saw from that inning. Looking at the bottom of the 6th, Lungaleo had a single up the middle, which brought Mackenzie Clark home. And then you had the bunt, the sacrifice bunt from JoJo Hyatt. That was a surprise to me and everyone else. Maybe not everyone else. I won't speak for everyone, but a surprise to me. And that brought Lungaleo home. And then Kylie Johnson had that good hit to right field, caused the right fielder to stumble and bring Kennedy Ariel home. 3 key runs. They showed that they could do it this past inning. Can they do it again in the bottom of the 7th? But it all hinges around, can Brooke McCubbin hold the big hitting Duke Blue Devils to no runs in the top of the 7th? Look at the amount of pitch difference there, 81 to 131. I think that's one part of the strategy of the game. A ton of more pitches for Reagan Spencer. Strike percentage, not too much difference there, both in the 60s. 61, 69. Both teams have an error. It's an exciting game so far. As the first pitch hit to the shortstop, Maddie Moore, and she dives but cannot get an out at first base. She dove to stop it from going to the outfield, but wasn't able to make a strong throw to first, which kind of bounces. First baseman can't collect it either. Julia Noller and Maddie Moore aren't on the same page right now. She dove from 1 foot. The glove was falling off her hand, and I don't know about that one. I really wouldn't say that Maddie Moore should have thrown a better throw. I know that when I looked at that replay there, it seemed like Noller flinched a little bit. And at first base, you got to have some confidence there and to scoop these balls up like Freddie Freeman. You cannot wince or flinch. As there's a hard fly ball to center field, Mackenzie Clark catches it and has an opportunity to get the runner out back at first, who didn't check on the base, and the ball is overthrown. So the runner does get back to first, and Mackenzie Clark is beating herself up thinking that she had an opportunity to get a double play from center field. That was a hard hit line drive straight to the center fielder. Clark gets into a crow hop and just throws it, 5 feet above Julie Noller's head. So while I think Noller could have maybe scooped up the first one from Moore, that one was too high. I don't think she could have jumped and caught that one over her head. But luckily, the runner on first was not able to advance as Deanna Jennings gets up here, the center fielder, who has frustrated Clemson tonight, but not unstoppable. 382 batting average, 0-2 right now. She's a slap hitter, so she kind of has a weird stance there. Ball was high and inside, 3-0. As looks like JoJo Hyatt's going to take a timeout, and John Rittman actually is going to take a timeout and bring everybody in to talk it over one more time. It's the third time he's had to come to the mound to just talk it over. You can tell the pressure of the game and the importance of this matchup, this series, the ACC matchup. This is a top 25 matchup, one of the best teams in the country, in your house with a lead, but your team is still fighting. If you can keep hanging on to that, not let it get carried away, if you can hang on to that motivation, to that hope, you may have an opportunity here. One out, runner on first, 3 balls. Pitch is low, over the plate though, but low. Ball 4 on 4 straight pitches. Runners now second and first. First pitch is a strike to Kelly Torres, the catcher. Been a good catcher for Duke tonight. Stopped a bunch of bouncing balls. Batting really good too, 396. Not a big home run hitter, but can get on base. And that's exactly what she does is she singles to second base underneath the glove of Alex Brown, and actually not only singles, but brings home a run in the process. As they're caught in kind of some sort of a pickle here. There's a runner trying to get to third, and I couldn't see everything. I'm not really sure what's going on here. They scored a run. This is a terrible time for the TV to not show us what's happening because they're going to go right into the next batter. Runner on second and third now. It looked like they were going to have a pinch runner for the catcher. The catcher came off the base at the end, I think at that point in a timeout situation, but they're not. The catcher's still at second with a runner on second and third. Alex Brown got kind of a chewing out from Brooke McCubbin on not being in the right position. Of course, it's difficult to know what to do. This is like her third game at second base, so I don't necessarily blame her for that. As Davidson goes deep to left field, right over the wall, almost a foul ball. I mean, Ariel Oda could have hit the foul pole, but that was a home run. Brooke McCubbin gives up a 3-run homer. Worst possible scenario for the Tigers as they felt they had an opportunity. It was within their possibility to get a tie with just down 3, but now, they're again down by 7. Just when they get close enough and fight, as I said just a few batters before, they could not afford to lose what motivation they had to keep fighting here, and that will all but deflate it. McCubbin leaves one over the middle of the plate, and then she just crushes it to left field. Barely fair, but it was fair enough to be a home run. The Tigers now down by 7. As Davidson just continues to collect home runs, as I mentioned earlier in the game, she is that will be 14 home runs. She's batting .451. She's probably better than that now. You add 2 RBIs to her, so 48 RBIs now. She's 5th nationally in slugging percentage, 9th in the country in on-base percentage as Amina Vega hits one big hit fly to left field for an out. Ariel Oda is able to get to it, but not until she gets to the warning track. Anna Gold up to bat now as she's swinging for the fences, but behind it. No balls, 1 strike. Swinging again, foul ball to the backstop. 2 strikes. McCubbin fighting with her now. Foul ball to the right-hand side. 0-2 with 3 pitches. One thing the Tigers couldn't do. I mean, no team can really allow 7 runs in 1 inning. Not 7, excuse me. 4 runs in an inning so far. 8 runs total in the last 2 innings. But that's what you see here. You've got a team that's had 13 hits and got 13 runs. That's efficient. As Brooke McCubbin strikes out the batter, but not without damage done. 4 runs in the top of the 7th, 13-6, as Clemson looks to get a miracle in the bottom of the 7th. Let's see. Had Anna Gold striking out looking. They kept her in check. But the girl they haven't kept in check, Claire Davidson. Well, they kept Claire in check for most of the game till the 7th inning. Kelly Torres doing pretty good there. Jada Baker frustrated him early. And Amina Vega, they really couldn't stop the third batter, Amina Vega, really until the end there. Yep. When they made contact, they hurt you. Clemson's had a great game from Aaliyah Lungaleo. 2 for 3. Maddie Moore, 2 for 3. Mackenzie Clark's manufactured some runs for them. They've had opportunities. Danny Drugmuller coming in to pitch, number 16, to more than likely close it out for the Blue Devils. As the Tigers get the opportunity to start off with the leadoff batter, Maddie Moore. Drugmuller, 13th appearance on the season, 4-0 overall, 1.83 ERA, has 29 strikeouts. As Maddie Moore makes contact, gets a single to right field to start the Tigers off in the bottom of the 7th here, as they're looking to make a rally for a miracle here in the bottom of the 7th. Moore again showing out tonight. She's been one of the main contributors at the plate along with Lungaleo and Mackenzie Clark. See what Alex Brown can do as she looks at the first pitch ball. 309 batting average. With runners on, 250. 1 RBI tonight, 1 hit. Ball 2 on the outside. You never know what could happen with a relief pitcher. Now we know Duke has more pitchers at their disposal. Lily Walker had a great tonight. As Alex Brown looks for a bunt, but pulls back 3-0. Brown gets the call from Rittman, 3-0. Wonder if he'll allow her to swing away. You have to be equally as aggressive, but also patient. Brown shows bunt quickly, but pulls back and gets 4-pitch strike. Or excuse me, 4-pitch walk. Takes first base, runners on first and second. No outs. I know they say never want to walk the leadoff batter. What about never want to walk the second batter? As Mackenzie Clark, 373 hitter, one of the star home run hitters for Clemson, comes up to the plate, sees the first pitch ball. This could be a situation where you have 5 balls in a row. Drugmueller's going to want to put one over the plate. Will Mackenzie Clark be waiting on something to smash? She gets it. She swings hard, but can't catch up. Can't slow down, really. She was way ahead of it. Way ahead of it. That was her home run swing, as you know. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another big home run swing for Clark. Still can't quite get it. Right down the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Clark, as I mentioned earlier when she was on base, looked like she was playing angry. Looks like she's swinging angry here. You need more than anger, though. You need contact. She lays off the next one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was too high to take a swing at. So she'll look at the next one. Let me know how I'm doing in the chat. This is my first ever play-by-play. As Mackenzie Clark goes for one low in the zone. Could have been a ball there. Probably should have laid off that one, but she fouled it off to the right-hand side. Yeah, let me know what you think in the chat. I know we got a couple people watching. Never done a softball play-by-play, so I'm just practicing it. Maybe one day I'll get a chance. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clark looks at, checks swing. Catcher checks for first base. First base says she did not swing. She held. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. Last time Clark was at the plate, she had a double. Umpire calls time. Drugmueller calls for a different set of pitches, and she throws a wild pitch, almost hits Mackenzie Clark, but Clark ducks out of the way and gets a big-time walk there. 7-pitch walk. And the Tigers now have bases loaded, down by 7. Home run here would bring 4 in and bring them down by 3. Wouldn't tie the game, but it would bring them closer. They need to build towards the miracle here in the bottom of the 7th against the 3rd best team in the country. Some outlets have them as the number 1 team in the country. John Rittman brings his runners in to talk it over as Marissa Young goes up to the mound to talk it over with her pitcher to calm her down after loading the bases. Just 1 hit. Julia Noller, the big bat for Clemson up, left-handed hitter, sees the first pitch strike. Can she take advantage of it? She's known to be able to hit home runs. Hasn't played a ton this season, but is a big bat. Big eyes looking for her pitch. And doesn't get a hold of the second pitch. 2 no balls, 2 strikes. This is the kind of situation Clemson needs to be able to come away with a run as Noller gets a hold of it, ground ball to second base, won't be able to turn two, but will be able to bring a run home, inching a little bit closer, 13-7. RBI grounder to second. Maddie Moore scores, and Aaliyah Lungaleo coming up to bat. Runners on second and third. She gets a hold of this one, would make it 10. Pitch in the dirt. Lungaleo doing good tonight. She's probably the MVP of the night. Home run in the fourth inning. And she gets a hold of one in the gap between left and center, off the wall, bounces, and it's going to score at least one. And it does. It bounces very hard, holds up Clark, of all people, one of Clemson's fastest runners, has to hold it third, but that is a RBI double as Aaliyah Lungaleo continues to have an amazing night against Duke pitching. Off the wall, deep to left field. If it hadn't hit off the wall so hard, Mackenzie Clark could have made it. John Rittman smartly checks it up because the pitch was the return ball was coming in fast from the outfield to home. Don't want to get an out at home, that's for sure. Rittman probably a little bit nervous from what happened before when Alex Brown had a similar pitch to center. And in not a shocking scenario, Duke has seen enough of Drugmuller. They are not going to let Danny Drugmuller pitch another pitch. She is not feeling it. They are actually taking the jacket off of Lily Walker, and they're making her come back out. Now, in softball, you can do that once. You can have your pitcher come back out one time. As the Clemson faithful are rocking the house, Tigers down by 5, 13-8, runners on second and third. Lily Walker comes back out after being taken out of the game. Lindsey Garcia comes up, gets a hold of the first one, foul ball to the right-hand side. Over there to the Clemson dugout. This could be an 11 run if she gets a homer. She grounds it down third base, but foul. Swing and a hit to center field. It's going to be caught, but it could allow a run to come home from third as Mackenzie Clark checks, tags up, and does bring in a run. So Lindsey Garcia flies out, sacrifice fly to center field, brings an RBI as Mackenzie Clark scores. 2 outs now for the Tigers with the runner on second. Clemson finding ways to manufacture runs. Not as efficient as Duke, but really showing a lot of fight tonight as Abby Vieira comes back up, pinch hitting for JoJo Hyatt. JoJo, as you remember, had a sacrifice bunt in the previous at-bat for her. I'm assuming that considering the situation, John Rittman's looking for a little bit bigger of a bat here. 1 ball, no strikes. Can Abby Vieira do it? And she grounds out to second base, and that'll be the ball game for the Tigers. The final score, 13-9, but not without a lot of fight from Clemson as they look to see if they can get back in their winning ways. 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon in the senior night for the Tigers as they honor their seniors, including Lungaleo and Mackenzie Clark and many others, including Valerie Cagle as well. It was a good game. It was a hard-fought game. They just could not keep up with the efficiency of the Duke Blue Devils. Had opportunities here and there to get close, but as they were getting closer, Duke would find a way to pull away a little bit further as well. So final score 13-9, lost by 4. Again, got it close a couple of times. Clemson will look to rebound from this. Tomorrow, 1 p.m., will be senior day. They're going to honor Lindsey Garcia, Julia Baumhart, Mackenzie Clark, Grace Hiller, Aaliyah Lungaleo, Reagan Spencer, JoJo Hyatt, Ariel Oda, Valerie Cagle, and Millie Thompson. All right, Tiger fans, thank you so much for tuning in to my very first ever play-by-play for softball. Really, my first ever play-by-play. I think I've done one for baseball or football, but it wasn't really play-by-play. It was more of a watch party. But thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this live stream play-by-play watch party. And as always, Tiger fans, we'll see you at the top of the hill.